Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel today. So what I thought I'd speak about is the Supreme Court's ruling that Christian focused RE taught in Northern Ireland schools is unlawful. Now if you get away from the law from it, I thought I'd look at it ethically, okay, because I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a solicitor, I'm not a barrister. So I can't really go into that. So what I thought is, let's look at the ethics of it. So is it right that kids nowadays are only taught about Christianity? Okay. Now, when I look at when I was at school, okay, all them years ago, I left school summer of 1994. Okay, that's when I left school. Left Woolston Secondary School. No longer there anymore, just houses now there. And I remember looking back on it, the only religion we got taught on was Christianity. That's it. End of story. Christianity, that was it. But I can also look at it and say, you never had as much immigration in the country back then. There were very few people at the school I went to, and I lived in a city. Okay, I lived in a big city. Okay, there wasn't many people at the school I was at that were of other ethnic origins. It was mainly white British people. Okay, and I only lived. My school was about a mile and a half from the city centre. Okay, so you can't go and say that I was on the outskirts or something like that. I was in a sleepy village, because that wasn't the case. But it literally was mainly white British people. Now, if I look at myself, when I left school, I started looking at other religions. Mainly because I spent a lot of time off sick due to health problems. And yes, I did look into Christianity. I'm not a deeply religious person, yet I do believe in some aspects of religion. And I remember having one particular couple of lads round who were to do with the Book of Mormon. And I used to have the actual book, and I actually read it. I also used to know a guy that I used to live with. He's a really nice guy, it was. And he'd speak to me about Islam, and I know what a lot of people's views are to do with Muslims and everything. I don't share them views. Okay, and I remember speaking to him at length on quite a few occasions when it came to Islam and everything. So I looked into that. And then obviously, Catholic religion at the end of the day, some people would say it's basically pretty much the same thing as Christianity. There are differences. So I've looked at many different religions over the years. So when I look at it, I personally believe that in schools nowadays, they should be taught about other religions. The main thing should be Christianity, because the UK, okay, and I know people are going to disagree with me, is the main religion is the Church of England. Okay, the head of it is obviously our king at the end of the day. But kids nowadays should be taught about other religions which are in this country, like Islam. They should be taught quite a lot about Catholics at the end of the day, and plenty of other religions. So I know a lot of people are going to say, no, it's Church of England, that's what we are here, that's what people should only be taught about. May have been the case, you could have got away with that a few years ago. But there are people that abide by other religions, whether we like this or not, but are living in this country, okay, and you can't alienate them. As much as a lot of people would say it, and this is my personal belief, Okay, and it's right that kids learn about these other religions, even if it's not something they're going to go into themselves. The right thing is to actually teach them so they actually know. So in the long term, we don't have the problems that we've had in recent years with people's views to do with different religions at the end of the day. So that's my personal view. Okay, so what I want people to do is let me know what should actually happen. Because if this came into the actual mainland UK, so into England, Scotland or Wales, rather than just being Northern Ireland, should it go down the court route? Or should schools look more carefully at other religions as well? So let us know in the comments down below. But for now, thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you all again a bit later.